Hello guys, another cooking dude on your screen as always. I'm sorry for my English, but as long as you understand me, I don't care. So today I will try to make beef stroganoff, and of course we need some beef for this Russian dish. There are a few ingredients in this dish, and actually this is really simple, but the original beef stroganoff recipe was lost. So there is no original recipe like from the ancient times. So never mind. Beef, of course. You can use high quality beef like filet mignon, some loin, but the difference between filet mignon or some just simple beef is the cooking time. You can just simmer simple beef for 40 minutes and it will be soft, or you can use steak beef, high quality and very tender from the bag. So never mind, we need some beef. This is just simple beef. The next ingredient, of course, is some onions. These are onions, and I don't know what to tell about them because we need some onions. And the third important ingredient, must-have ingredient, is some sour cream. This is just my favorite good quality sour cream. I just love to eat it with some bread. But there are a few ingredients that are not must-have, but some people use them. First of all, mushrooms. These are just champignons. In Russia we call it champignoni. Like, I mean, maybe in USA, in Europe, you call it same too. So, champignons is cheap mushrooms, but they have very poor taste, very low taste. So, if you want your beef stroganoff to be strong mushroom taste, to have a strong mushroom taste, use some dried forest mushrooms. These are some dried forest mushrooms, about 50 grams or something like that. And we're gonna make powder of them, because we need a strong mushroom flavor. And the flavor of these mushrooms is much stronger than champignons. But we need the texture of mushrooms as well, and the cheap champignons is okay for that. So I am gonna blend it. But actually we need only 3 tablespoons, I mean maybe half of these mushrooms, because they have very... Whoo! Look at that. They have really strong smell. Yeah. So we need only 3 tablespoons of this mushroom powder. The problem of champignons is always the same. They have a lot of dirt. They have some soil in them that will scrape your teeth. So we need to clean them. There is a simple way to clean your champignons. Just put them in some bigger pan and put some flour in there. Just simple all-purpose flour, maybe 3 tablespoons, like that. Some flour. And fill your pan with some water. And the mix of flour and water will scrape all the dirt from your champignons. Like that. I will put some water and wash them in this flour, in this water. And look, the flour became yellow because of all this dirt and all this soil. We need to wash off those champignons. You need to spend like 2 or 3 minutes doing this. And now we need just wash everything off, all this flour. Look, clear, without any soil, mushrooms. Next step is super simple. We need to cut our beef against the grain. Of course, if you can find the grain. So I think, yeah, like that. We need tiny thin strips of beef. So the first of all, I need some layers, some thin, my friend call it cutlets. I don't know, is this okay to call this cutlets, but I will call it cutlets too. I need those leaves, small pieces, thin pieces of beef. And then I will cut it thinly on the strips. This is super easy when you have sharp knife. And now I will make some thin strips out of it, like this. Small thin pieces. But of course you can do as you want. So the final product of cutting our meat is like that. Tiny little pieces, shredded, cut it against the grain, like tiny strips. And of course our onions. We need those onions almost dissolve in our beef stroganoff, so we need to cut it finely, really finely chop it. The best way to clear an onion is to remove this thin layer, cut them by half and remove upper layer like that, and then chop it on some small cubes. And our champignons, our raw mushrooms, I will cut in on 4 parts like that. 4 parts. Actually, you can do everything on the one cutting board. Why? Because everything will be fully cooked. So you don't have to change your cutting board for some ingredients. The small ones, I think on 2 parts is okay. And the big ones is 4 parts, like that. If you have some really good quality forest mushrooms, just use them. Don't use champignons because they have, as I said, they have low taste. They have weak taste. So we're gonna balance it with our mushroom powder. First of all, we need to cook the beef, and we need really brown color and very fast on our beef. So the best way to do that is, first of all, of course, some salt, some pepper. I got some pink salt, but that doesn't matter what salt you got. Some freshly ground black pepper. But the question is, what's gonna help us with the color? The answer is very simple. Some flour. Some flour will help us. First of all, I will mix everything together with salt and pepper. It becomes really wet because of the salt, and that's what we need. Now we need some flour. Lightly coat your beef with some flour. Everything that sticks, that's enough. And the excess flour we don't need. All the flour that we need sticks to the meat, but we should have the bigger cutting board, so the pieces won't stick to each other. But I think that's good enough. Okay, now you can use some butter or some oil with a high smoking point, and just fry the beef until it's a little bit brown. I'll wait a few seconds until the oil will heat up. I think that's cool. Let's drop the meat. It starts sizzling immediately. That's what we need. And I will fry it in 2 parts, so I don't want to overcrowd the pan. But it is really a big pan, actually. So maybe you must fry all those beef in 3 or maybe even 4 parts. I will mix it, and let's wait about 3 minutes. So this color is more than enough. So our beef is done. I will remove it, and behind the scenes I will fry another part, second one. Oh, maybe not behind the scenes, I will fry it here. No, I need more oil. Yeah, that's okay. The pan is hot. My next portion of the meat is much smaller than the first one. I don't know why. Maybe because, how we call it in Russia, я продолбился в шары. I don't know how to translate that. The secret of taste of juiciness of beef stroganoff is how fast you fry the meat. The best way is to fry it really fast, like, I don't know, 3 minutes. 5 minutes is okay, but if you start boiling it, really boiling it on the low heat, you will lose all the juices, all the moisture inside the meat. And now we need to assemble everything that we've got. The best way is to put everything in the, big pan or some pot where you can finish this dish to the end. My pot is not very big because I want you to see what I'm doing. So the big knob of butter in there, not oil, regular butter, because everything will be in our final dish. You can fry your beef on the oil and then drain this excess oil, but now everything is gonna be inside our dish, and butter is tastier than the oil always. Now on this butter we're gonna fry our onions until it's gonna be translucent or maybe even little bit brown. So when the onion is the color, have the color like this, it's translucent and a little bit brown. It starts coloring. We need to put the tomato paste. We need to heat up our tomato paste, because when you don't heat up your tomato paste, it tastes like shit. And always you need to fry the tomato paste a little bit. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And about 30 seconds or something, just heat it up also with your onions. And now we can put our mushrooms, and 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of dry mushrooms for the taste, like that. Mushroom taste. The smell is awesome, mushroom smell. And fry it up like maybe 30 seconds, something like that. If you see that something starts to burn, just put some water in there. That's not a problem, because you can always evaporate all this water later. That doesn't matter. Yeah, that's nice. And now let's put everything together. Beef all in there. I'll put low heat. All the sour cream in there, and some boiling water. And we need it to simmer about 20 minutes. Of course you can use some allspice or bay leaf, that's not a problem. But this is the base. It will thicken up in a minute. Some boiling water. And let it boil for about 20 minutes. Of course, salt and pepper, bay leaf to taste, and everything else. I need some more pepper and salt. 15 or 20 minutes until your beef will be really soft. But if you use some loin, if you use some really good steak beef, then this is done already. But I mean, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Let it thicken up a little bit, because of the flour on the beef. So I think that this is the best way to cook simple beef stroganoff with some mushroom taste. Some boiled potatoes or mashed potatoes, or some rice, or some grecha. I don't know how to translate grecha. I need to Google it, but I'm too lazy to do that. Some butter, so let it melt on the potatoes. Tasty. And some beef stroganoff. Hot, creamy mushrooms, a lot of sauce, especially if you cook it with rice. And juicy beef. And I don't know, for some parsley. I'm not a chef. I cannot cook it with a fancy way. This is a fancy way for me. I don't know. And yes, this is really delicious. This is really creamy. This is really tasty, and the recipe is really simple. So thank you for the subscribing and for thumbs up. And again, I know that my English sucks, so never mind. I hope you understand me. Write something in the comments under my video. I will read every comment. Bye!